I wrote 4 words in 1944 that have been misunderstood ever since. Feeling is the secret. Most people who come to this teaching read those 4 words and immediately think of emotion, of excitement, of intensity, of generating a powerful emotional state before sleep. And so they practice night after night trying to feel excited about the thing they want, trying to manufacture the emotional charge that they believe will impress the subconscious. And when the excitement fades, when the feeling becomes flat or forced, they conclude that something has gone wrong, that they have failed at the practice, but they have not failed at the practice. They have misunderstood what feeling actually is, because feeling, as I use that word, has nothing to do with emotion, nothing at all. Stay with me, because once you understand what I actually meant by feeling, you will never practice the same way again. I want to be precise about this tonight. The subconscious receives impressions only through the feelings of man, and in a way known only to itself, gives these impressions form and expression. That is what I wrote. Not emotions, not excitement, not the intensity of desire, feelings. And by feeling I meant something very specific, the consciousness of being, the inner sense of already being the thing you desire to be, not performing it, not generating excitement about it, simply knowing it, the way you know you are sitting in a chair right now, not with excitement, not with emotional intensity, with the flat, unremarkable, undeniable certainty of something that simply is. I wrote this as precisely as I could in 1944. The subconscious accepts as true that which you feel as true, not what you feel excited about, not what you desperately want, what you feel as true. Do you understand the difference? Excitement is a response to something you do not yet have. The feeling of truth is a response to something you already are. One creates the impression of absence. The other creates the impression of presence. And it is only the impression of presence that the subconscious receives and builds from. Let me describe what most practitioners actually do when they practice feeling. They lie down, they close their eyes, they think of the thing they want, and then they try to feel excited about it. They reach for the emotional state, they push for intensity, they try to manufacture the feeling of joy or relief or gratitude, and sometimes it comes, and when it does, they believe the practice worked. But I want to tell you something that most people find uncomfortable to hear. Excitement is often the feeling of wanting, not the feeling of having. Think about it. When you are genuinely excited about something, it is usually because you do not yet have it and you desperately want it. The excitement itself is the evidence of absence. I wrote this in Feeling is the Secret, and I want you to hear it with fresh ears tonight. Whenever your feeling is in conflict with your wish, feeling will be the victor. Read that carefully. If the feeling underneath your excitement is still the feeling of wanting, of not yet having, that is the impression the subconscious receives, not the excitement on the surface, the truth underneath. The subconscious is not fooled by performance. It reads the deepest layer, and the deepest layer, for most practitioners, is still the honest, persistent, quiet feeling that the thing is not yet real. That is the impression being planted every night, and that is the impression being expressed every day. But here is what changes everything. I gave a very precise instruction in my book, and I want to repeat it tonight exactly as I wrote it. Feel as you would were you already in possession of your wish. Not feel excited about having it, not feel grateful that it is coming. Feel as you would were you already in possession. That feeling, the one that would naturally exist if the desire were already real, is almost never excitement. It is something far quieter, far more ordinary. far more similar to how you feel about the things in your life that are simply already true. Think of something you possess completely right now. Your own name, your own history, the city you live in. How do you feel about those things? Not excited, not grateful in a charged emotional sense, simply settled. They are part of you. They are the background of your experience. They require no feeling because they are simply real. That settled quality, that quiet, ordinary, unremarkable sense of already being, is the feeling I was pointing to when I wrote those 4 words. Feeling is the secret, not emotion, not excitement. The settled consciousness of already being the person who has it. And I gave a simple instruction for how to reach that state. Lie flat on your back. Close your eyes. Imagine you are sleepy. And in that drowsy, relaxed state, feel yourself as having already achieved it. Not imagining the how, not picturing the journey. Simply the quiet, settled sense of already having arrived. That is the feeling that impresses the subconscious. That is the secret. Tonight, before you sleep, I want you to change one thing. Not your scene, not your technique, not how long you practice, the quality of the feeling you bring into the state. Do not reach for excitement. Do not try to manufacture emotional intensity. Simply ask yourself one question as you close your eyes. How would I feel if this was simply already true? Not exciting, not miraculous, not overwhelming, simply already true. The way your own name is already true. The way the ground beneath your feet is already true. Reach for that quality of feeling, that flat, settled, ordinary knowing. And from that place, drop off to sleep. Because what you take in as a feeling, you bring out as a condition, an action, or an object in space. Those are my words from 1944, and they are as precise tonight as they were then. The subconscious accepts as true that which you feel as true, not what you feel excited about, not what you desperately want, what you feel is true. That is the secret. That has always been the secret. And it was never about emotion. It was always about this, the quiet, settled, unremarkable knowing that it is already done. Sleep in that tonight.